Back to another license to sale tutorial. This is video 5. The previous video you've probably gone over elimination mode, and now I'm going to skip over to study plan. Um, so on the info view, let's say you know when you're going to test for the exams. Um, you click create study plan here, and then you put down what date you're going to take the exam. So I'm probably going to take these third mid exams probably on June 1st, 2026. And when I select that, it actually tells you how many questions you gotta have to study per day, which is a lot. But there it is. And you hit build plan, and it's created your plan. And so you see your testing date down here, how many days you've got left, and then your daily goal. So we actually answered 4 questions so far from the previous video tutorials. So now at the bottom here, a new tab has shown up called Plan. If you click on that, you have your daily progress, how many questions you've answered so far, and this is how many questions you've answered correctly, not missed. So you may be studying more questions than what's here in the study daily progress. And then we have study order. So this is all the questions you guys study. It's 18,000 questions. It's a lot of questions for a third mate's license. Um, so you have your generals, safety. These are all your sub-subjects, and you can see the progress you're making through them. Obviously, you're not going to take the chart plot for Mississippi, so it just says it's correct. And then, so everything is calculated towards the week before your exams. And that week before the exams, you're going to want to use that time there to actually do practice tests. And I highly recommend just doing the sample exams, because sometimes half of the sample questions on the sample exam is on the test that you take. And then we've got a daily study reminder. So if you wanted to have a daily reminder, you can turn that on and set which time you want that reminder to go off. And then NMC links. These are useful links for the National Maritime Center. So if I hit the checklist here, it actually pulls up a custom checklist for the third made unlimited, and you can go through all the requirements and check off that stuff if you're doing this all yourself and not relying on the school to do this for you. And then you have an exam guide here. You can pull up the Coast Guard exam guide. And then you have the exam rules and the retest policy. At the bottom here is your recommended testing schedule. You don't have to go by this, but it is recommended that you test 2 exams per day. So 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, because you have like 3.5 hours to take the exam. So yeah, first day, of course, you want to do your rules of road first, because you only can get a 90 on that, and you're probably studying that the most. And then deck generals. So yeah, hard ones first. But yeah, here's all your when it recommends you take the exams. You don't have to follow this. And then you have an REC locator button here to locate your nearest regional exam center. At the top here, I've skipped this, but I'm going to show you it now. Daily Anchor. So Daily Anchor is really for those who are kind of casually studying. But if you click on that, it kind of gives you more of a smart way to study. So it'll show you the question, and then it'll show you your answer choices. And then you click on it, and it's kind of like a Duolingo inspired thing. It's got some sound effects, and then if you answer it wrong, it'll show your explanation, and then you hit the next question. And sometimes what it does is it takes questions that you haven't gone over, and it also takes questions that you've gone over before, and tries to retest you over there. So it's a very smart way to kind of keep you up to date on these questions. Because yeah, you're gonna go through a question, and then like 30 days later, you're not gonna see that question, and Daily Anchor will help you kind of bring that question back, so that you kind of really solidify your knowledge of that question. So that is plan. So if I go over to study mode, I go to my deck, and I go to elimination, you'll actually have a little progress bar here. And that little progress bar is your plan, study plan. So when you answer something, if you answer something right, that progress bar will progress. Even though we have like 100 questions we were studying for, so that's a little bit of progress right there. But once you've gone, it's filled all the way up. You'll get a notification saying, "Hey, you've completed your daily question, your daily quota." So that's study plan. The next video we'll go through is the test